Hello everyone, and it's been a while since I posted or recorded anything, and that's because I've been dealing with school and life and that kind of stuff. And I want to try and get this channel active again, even if I may not post as active as I used to because of school and work. But since it is summer break, I'm gonna try to re-upload some old things, maybe actually record things, put some work into some mapping videos again, some edits. Even if I haven't posted in a long, long time, like probably a year at this point. But I'll probably just put this recording over some re-uploads. So hope you enjoy. Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you one of my old history creation projects sort of thing. So this is called Pax Britannia. It is a sort of nation roleplay alt history that I made with a few friends on Discord, and it goes from the years in 1815 all the way to currently 1910. It's still a work in progress, and I'm gonna try and make it up until 1991. The end of the Cold War, stuff like that. And as you can see, there's a lot going on. So I have a whole list on Discord that I can show you about all the lore and stuff. And I'm basically gonna give you a summary of what happened throughout those years and what made the map, look like this. And there's also some stuff in Antarctica, like what happened there. So I'm gonna go through all of this, and yeah, let me just switch cameras. Okay, so let me just read the whole thing. I will really try to sum for as best as I can. This is a continuation of the old NRP or Nation roleplay that happened for like 7 months in 2025. It was the most successful NRP I had ever been in, and I went through so much, so I'm bringing it back. It starts in 1815 after the Napoleonic Wars. Deals are made trading land and resources, specifically with the British. By 1824, the entire British America is owned by America. America signs the Atom Owners Treaty with Mexico, and America expands up into the north of Canada. So they basically like take all of Britain's colonies, and you could see right here they took this region. Well, they didn't really take this from Britain, 'cause they didn't control it, but they made this into a condominium, the Hudson Bay condominium, and Britain keeps this though, as well as Bermuda, but they get all of these colonies: Guyana, the Falkland Islands, Caribbean, Belize, the Mosquito Coast, all of that. And this is gonna be like a theme throughout the rest of the roleplay of what happens in America and that kind of stuff, like who rules America, that kind of stuff. And over in Asia, they take Taiwan, Shandong, and Liaoning, the Qing Dynasty, and buy a chunk of land in the northeastern part of Spanish Luzon. The Russians finish expanding into Siberia and draw the border with the Qing in Manchuria. A pre-Berlin conference meeting is held called the Bursa Conference. Surprised I even remember this because it was so early in the roleplay. And the line between Africa and the Europeans would be drawn. Europeans were only allowed to colonize below the Congo River, and this claim in image 1 by the United States. This is the claim that didn't follow the line because they let it happen. And then two African states were created, East and West Africa. You can see a bit of West Africa here. It's like blue area. And West Africa today, it's divided, same with East Africa. Yeah, and this is where the American claim is. And this is where the old border was. It followed like along the Congo River, and then went this way, and then boom, boom, then follow this. But as you can see, it's no longer there. We'll get to that reason later. So, these states were decentralized, but there was an early attempt of a unified African regional nation. Along with the Ottomans, also laid claim to most of northern Africa and the Sahara Desert, Over in Arabia, the Ottomans conquered Oman and expanded to Arabia and the Sahara Desert. They also laid claim to the rest of the Arabian Desert. A Greek, Montenegrin, and Serbian state is established after the Ottomans make the Sarajevo Declaration, declaring to leave the Christian Balkans by the late 1800s. Slowly but surely, the Ottomans would be able to stabilize more because of this. A deal with the Austrians meant to hold a referendum over Herzegovina and Mostar to see who would own the territory. In 1826, the Ottomans ceded more territory to Greece, Serbia, and Montenegro, and gives Herzegovina to Austria. Papal States conquer Sardinia, and America signs a deal with Russia, allowing them to stay in Alaska for now, and defining the Alaskan border, giving them a temporary pass for the Monroe Doctrine. But yeah, as we can see how that has affected the world today, Russia still owns Alaska in 1909, and Papal States conquered all of Italy. And as we can see over here, the Ottomans is the third largest nation, Russia, of course, still in first place, and the United States in second place. But the British have also been trying to reclaim their territory and stuff like that, and reestablish themselves as the #1 global power. And recently, it's also been a bunch of stuff in Russia. We'll get to that later. So the Ottomans attempt to build mega cities in the Sahara Desert and started utilizing Ras Al Khaimah as a logistical, economic, and military base, which is this port over here. And they also signed an agreement with the Sovereign Emirate to give all of what they call Kurdistan an image too, which is this right here. This comes after the Sovereign Emirate committed a massacre targeting Assyrians in Hakkari, which led to the Ottomans taking Hakkari from Sauron. They finished conquering Arabia, but the empty court against special administrative status due to the Ottoman inability to successfully control it. The Janissaries were disbanded early. The Kurds and Egyptians were treated with a high status of respect. And the Ottomans began building and modernizing militarization efforts. In 1827, the Ottomans began funding ethnic minorities in Qajar, Iran, and began efforts to colonize Sierra Leone. The Ottomans make their goals clear: to conquer and protect the Islamic world instead of oppressing non-Muslim majority areas and genociding and assimilating. Russia creates its own vassal system with inspiration from the Ottomans, which we can see over here. There is Georgia, Azerbaijan, Ossetia, Dagestan, Ukraine, Bessarabia, Poland, Lithuania, Finland, Tatarstan, Turkestan, Buryatia, and Vladivostok. We'll get to this one later. most autonomous of most autonomous of which being the Polish Tsar. Then a great race began in Central Asia between the Ottomans and Russians. Russia and the Ottomans, which began had a secret deal where Russia would take Kazakhstan and the Ottomans would take the rest. But Russia betrays this deal and sets their sights on all of Central Asia. To counter this, the Ottomans and their rebel allies and the vassal of the Ottomans declare war on Qajar Iran, get to Central Asia as quick as possible, spreading anti-Qajar propaganda and pan-Islamist propaganda, supplying rebel groups, promising them autonomy, and getting foreign help from Britain and America. The French continued to colonize Madagascar and claim the rest of the island. The Russians, in a surprise turn of events, began colonizing Africa after modernizing and industrializing, colonizing South Mozambique and everything east of Lake Malawi. And you can read the rest of this pause the video, all that. And this is also the map currently, and I'll go over this for a bit. So we have Yugoslavia, Hungary, Slovakia. Yeah, there was an Austrian civil war over here. There's Romania, there's Bulgaria, there's Greece, there's Ottomans, of course. Sarajevo Declaration led to them leaving the Christian Balkans. There's an Armenian protectorate of the Ottomans. There's the Afghan Emirate, the Galak Khanate. The U.S. leaves this area from the Ottomans. Italy occupies this area under the Berlin Conference, and there's also a condominium over here, same here, and French West Africa, all these, American Protectorate. Um, the Ottomans take this land. Russia colonizes a lot. They even get some colonies in Africa. And the Japanese, they unite with Korea and create Emasion. Then there's some stuff where all the great powers try to stop the Zionists, except for Russia, kind of, and they create this Jewish autonomous oblast. And then America starts colonizing all this, and let's see. And of course, most recently, the Russian Empire gets a huge revolution where like all the minority groups sort of rebel. Over here we have like communists. Over here we have Latvians and Finnish people, Polish people, and Moldavians, Ukrainians, Georgians, Azerbaijanis, pro-Ottoman rebels, Buddhists, and Tatars and Turkic peoples, yeah, that kind of stuff. The German Empire actually is like one of the strongest and unites most of the Germanic lands, so it's cool. But most of these nations seem to be like very, very like against fighting huge wars with each other. And even though the Russians have like a full-blown bunch of revolts and revolutions, most major powers just turn the other way instead of like doing anything about it because they don't want a world war to begin. But there's so many options that could happen. Britain could try and reclaim their huge empire, attack America. Germany could attack Russia. China could attack Japan or the Ottomans. The Ottomans could attack anyone, literally. Japan could attack China and Russia. There's so many things that could go wrong. And since Italy is ruled by the Pope, they could literally do like so many things. And even Romania, like they have an entire empire. Like they have this leased area over here and over here as well. And they also have this colony over here, and they're trying to build research bases over in the international zone. And they do have this little island over here. And there's even a whole city that America is building to deport all the Zionists over there. So, no Zionist stuff happens. Like, wow, there's just so much that you could do. There's even Crimean rebels, bro. You can do anything. But yeah, that seems to be all I'm gonna be doing for today's video. If you like, subscribe, say what you liked about it in the comments, give suggestions. I'm always up for criticism. And I will leave the Discord link to the server down in the comments below and my bio so you guys can join the server and you can help contribute to the alt history and roleplay in it. And I really hope you guys like it. Yeah. So like and subscribe and bye.